that's another argument for me to think that computers or technology will go ahead of our intelligence. Um, Also, I read that we are like discovering the brain and can be directly stimulated by experience and like having different feelings, like something that computers don't have, right? Um, like feeling the sarcasm, the humor, the sexual feelings, like everything that is proper from a human being. And blue elephants. um, this is a part of the book that make me laugh a lot because the book mentioned the last two words were intended to be surprising. Like surprise is a factor that computers cannot feel. It's proper from the humans or from the animals as well. And when I read blue elephants, I was like, eh? I mean, yeah, I was obviously not expecting to read that. And when I read the explanation, I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, this is funny. Um, but yeah, anyways, sorry, I got distracted with the blue elephant stuff. We discovered that brain cannot be compared with computers in that aspect, and that also we sometimes are so addicted to this kind of stuff that there's people that get drugs to feel this kind of feelings, right? Like to feel the feelings, to feel like excitement, to feel calm, and all that kind of stuff. But also, I mean, technology, it's capable of providing that, and I didn't know that. In a certain way, I understood it because I can see my brother playing his video games and he receives pleasure from it, right? That's why he decided to be playing 6 hours a day or maybe more when we are on weekends, right? Or why do we get so happy when we post something in Instagram and we receive a lot of likes? I mean, technology, yeah, it's like indirectly also stimulating us and making us feel that. But just to say, okay, yeah, technology is part of it and it's influencing me to feel it. Nevertheless, technology, like, literally cannot make me feel that. Well, I also got really impressed because I read this example of the scientist, I don't remember his name, who put like some neural cells, like artificial cells, inside mouses and a button inside of the cage. So the mouses realized when they press the button, they felt like really good, like the cells or the technology that they implant in the rats or in the mouses make them feel or like, yeah, like to feel this pleasure. And they realized that once that the mouses knew this, they started to press plenty times the button. I think that 500 times per no 5,000 times per hour. So we say that feeling this passion, feeling this excitement or this calmness, it's proper from human beings. But we realize that also with these experiments, computers are able or to provide the same feelings, right? So yeah, I mean, every time that I read more of the from the book, I was more impressed. um Nevertheless, okay, yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, we can also feel this pleasure by like playing, or also feel angry when we lose a game or when we forget the password to one of our accounts. I mean, technology nowadays is super part of us that we cannot live without this. I mean, every time that it rings is more like an impulse for us to like check if we are receiving a notification. And it's amazing how something that we created is not even something proper of our bodies. It's something that we created can be so we can be so dependent to it. um yeah, I also read that in less than 40 years we have gone from manual methods of controlling our lives, or the civilization, to becoming totally dependent from computers, as I already mentioned. And we are not able to like unplug from them. Not only computers, also cell phones or TVs or everything that is related to technology. And something that really blows my mind as well was when I read the part of visual arts, because as I mentioned before, like all these feelings, humor, sarcasm, everything, it's like super proper from human beings. And also the arts, I mean, we know that even though computers are so smart, they will not be able to make songs, to produce art, or to write a book. Nevertheless, once again, I got impressed because I realized that um, there's computer generated visual art, and the creator is Harold Cohen, that he created a computer that is named Aaron, who has been evolving and created drawings and painting it for more than 20 years. So um, it's amazing, it's incredible, and really like unbelievable to see that a computer it's almost able to do something that a human being. I mean, obviously this art is not a Picasso or a Monet, right? But nevertheless, it's like if a little kid is painting something, it's drawing something, and that's an ability that computers didn't used to have. I mean, this is completely amazing and revolutionary. So once again, I thought when I was reading that there's no excuse, or there's no a scenario, at least for me, where computers will not become more intelligent or more capable than us. Because also when I was researching about the author, um, I realized that he created a robot who's capable of producing music. And I mean, not only producing, like playing it, but also like creating new music. um Usually we need like a human for doing that. We have like all the equipment, all the technology, and you start to make your mixes like a DJ, right? But no, this computer, it's completely able to do it itself. So yeah, it's really crazy. Well, just for finishing this, or to start the conclusion, the decision whether or not to evolve is nothing that we can decide, actually. I mean, it cannot vary, it cannot variate. Obviously human beings and also technology are going to continue um, evolving, and it's not only because of our decision, it's also because of our necessities. I mean, 20 years ago, a cell phone was completely unnecessary in society, and no one ever imagined something like that. Nevertheless, nowadays, it's really difficult for us to imagine a day or a week without a cell phone. It's completely crazy. We rather, I don't know, like take all our hair off than being without a phone, right? So it's just the highest rated solution to keep evolving, not only us but also technology, and it's going to increase exponentially, as the book mentioned at the beginning. It can be also considered a trend to evolve, to yeah, to improve our characteristics more in the last generations, but nevertheless it's more than a trend, it's like getting closer to a necessity. And yes, of course, I think that evolution is part of us, part of humans instinct to survive, to reproduce, and to face our problems in a certain way, to create new technology and new equipment to help us to make our daily life easier. So I don't know if it's also because all these sci-fi movies, or like this futuristic, like Mad Max, for example, or Interstellar, but I think that part of our survival, it's going to depend on technology. And this really makes me reflect about the kind of life that we're having, that the ethic problems that we will have in the future if a robot has the same rights as a human, no? Also, yeah, like every time that I say these movies come to my mind, uh, it's like Blade Runner, for example, where people, it's half cyber, well, half robots and half humans, and like robots want to get rid of humans and humans want to get rid of robots, and Matrix and all these movies. I think that humans' creativity or imagination is not far away from what someday can be a reality. And I really enjoyed this book. At the beginning, it was a little bit difficult, not because of the English. The English, I think, was pretty easy. I don't have a problem with the language. It was more the fact that it has like a lot of vocabulary that I'm not used to use in my daily life, a lot of technology and like a specific vocabulary. Nevertheless, I really enjoyed it. It really made me reflect about, and as I mentioned before, a lot of movies came to my mind during the whole reading. I'm really impressed with what we as humans have achieved, and I cannot imagine what we can achieve in 10, 20, or 50, 100 years. So my favorite movie is Interstellar. So the fact of imagining a society that can create the technology to go to other planets um, to challenge the time and the space and the evolution. I mean, it's fascinating for me. So I really enjoyed this book. As I mentioned, it was a little bit difficult, more because of the technicisms, more instead of the language. But it makes me reflect a lot of how society is becoming dependent on technology, and vice versa. How technology it's also becoming dependent of humans, of like we remaining technology to be useful, to be better, to be faster, to be more capable of different stuff. So yeah, I have plenty ideas in my mind about this, but what I can say about the book is that evolution for both human beings and technology, it's always going to be present. And for me at least, technology can maybe one day be better than us. Thank you, teacher. That will be my resolution about this book.